Oh,
Here we go, everybody. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm Sean Ventura, the host of the Lights Camera Pro podcast. I'm here today with Amy Hoerler. Is that how I say it? Hoerler?
mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, cool. She's an actress and she's done a bunch of stuff. She's going to talk about it. And right now, I'm just going to go to a couple quick ads for some partners. This first one is Restream, and it's a product that sends my broadcast to Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and soon to be LinkedIn. It's a really cool product, so check that out. There's a referral link on the on the Facebook post, the Facebook Live post that you're watching live right now. There's a referral link, and then Ecamm. You can see down here on the bottom right is the software that I'm using to broadcast this. You can add multiple cameras, you can add logos, you can add animations. We're going to watch some of Amy's film clips with this software. It's very, very cool. And then we make it into an audio podcast later. So check out the affiliate link in the Facebook Live for Ecamm. So, Amy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So you're in
I'm
West Palm
so
Beach?
excited to be on.
Cool.
I am.
It's 82 here. Very hot. I just walked my dog. Is it steamy down there?
Yeah, the humidity. We're known for that, the humidity. So, but I'm used to it after all these years living down here. So, yeah, it's yeah. But I'm partial to warm weather. I'd rather have warm weather than cold weather.
Right.
Living in Washington State for a great many years, I don't miss the weather up there. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
Native Seattleite. So, but I have my coffee.
Yes. Wow. Coffee at 2:00.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was in Massachusetts and New York for many years, and I don't miss shoveling snow at all. So this is better.
It's funny you say that because I lived in New York for 7 years. We lived in Queens for 1 year, and then we lived in Astoria and then we lived in Brooklyn for 6 years, and it was just such a great time. But I don't miss the bad winters and the opposite side of the street parking.
Oh no,
that was always the worst, right? So
yeah.
And it was just such a but it was a great city to live in. Oh my God, I miss New York so much, and that's where I got my start with acting, actually.
Yeah, you've also done a lot of theater too. So we're going to talk about the films that you've done, the independent films and the shorts. But yeah, I love New York. Lived there for 12 years, and my kids love it now. They're 17 and 15, and we go every year. We're supposed to go this year, but because COVID, we didn't go.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah, we're actually going to Seaside Beach instead, which is down there in Florida next week. But would rather go to New York, but New York's a little bit shut down right now.
I know.
Yeah. So Burt Reynolds. Can we talk about Burt Reynolds?
Of course.
You took a class
that I worked with. Oh my God, and studied with.
Oh, I got to hear these stories because I love him. I love Sharky's Machine. I love Cannibal Run and Smokey and the Bandit. All his movies, especially the ones with Sally Field. But yeah, he's such a great actor. Love him. So you took a class with him for years, for like 10 years, a master class, and then you did a movie with him. Can you?
Yeah.
Why don't we show the clip? We'll show the quick clip. What's the name of the movie? The Last Movie Star?
The Last Movie Star. It was originally titled Dog Ears, but then they changed it to The Last Movie Star.
Okay, so we're going to play this full screen with audio, and we can both just watch it. It's about a minute, and then we'll come back and you can talk about it.
Cool.
There she comes.
May I help you?
Yes, I would like to see Claudia Schulman, please.
I'm
sorry, but visiting hours ended at 7 p.m.
Yeah, well, I came from Los Angeles to get here, okay? So let us in. We'll just be in here for 5 minutes, all right?
I'm sorry, but you'll have to come back tomorrow. Visiting hours begin at 8 a.m. You can have breakfast with her.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Could you lean closer? I can't hear you.
Hey!
I'm gonna put this right in your nose.
No, you're not.
All right, well, thank you,
What?
ma'am. We totally understand.
Thank you. We will come back a different day.
I don't know who she is.
Yeah, all right. Yep.
Sir, thank you.
Holy
Thanks.
shit.
All right, let's go.
Awesome. That was a fun little scene. So do you want
Yeah.
to talk about the scene and before you talk about the class?
Yeah, of course. So this scene, it was an incredible moment for me because this is actually the biggest thing that I've ever done in terms of like my career. So it's like the pinnacle right now. Hopefully there'll be more, but this is the bar. Burt Reynolds, acting with Burt Reynolds. I felt comfortable because, you know, I was a student of him, you know, for years. So it's funny what happens. Basically, well, I wouldn't tell you leading up to this all of this because the stars really did align. Because it just sounds too fantastical, like this all kind of just worked out. Okay, so writer-director Adam Riskin, he came to a couple classes and he had the masterclass actors read parts of the script. And so we just figured, oh, okay, this is cool. You know, this is a movie Bert's going to be in and all this stuff. Of course, nobody was thinking that, you know, this could possibly lead to a role for anybody in the class.
Right.
and certainly not me. I just happened to, you know, really get along with Adam, and I think everybody actually did. He's just such a nice guy, and so I didn't think much of it. I did give him my card, and I said, you know, if you ever need an actor, right? So you know how actors do, right? So
Yeah.
So fast forward, you know, a couple times that he comes and he watches scenes and everything, you know, not just us reading parts of the script, but also doing scenes in class. And so I just thought that was really cool. And basically what ended up happening is I had gotten a new agent, and my friend from London was in town. Her name's Lenny, and Burt happened to be doing like some sort of like a like an interview, and he and my friend Lenny wanted to meet him, and I asked Todd, who was our right hand man at the time. I said, do you think that I could swing by and, you know, say hey to Burt? And by this time, you know, I had reached out to Adam, and I said, so my new agent told me that there's a movie and it's your movie, and do you remember who I am? And Adam was like, of course I do. Of course I do. And it was just this whole thing. And I was like, do you remember who I am? Oh my God, this is fantastic. So then anyhow, so I'm kind of like skipping all over because like I'm a million miles an hour. So anyhow, so then I told Burt, I said, you know, there's a movie that you're in that's, you know, that's being filmed, and my agent wants to submit me. I have this new agent, and he goes, which one? I was like, oh, you know, I said, Dog Years. Oh yeah. Well, he quote, well, I'll put in a good word for you, kid. And, you know, this coming from Burt, because, you know, we had such a nice relationship. He was always so caring. He cared immensely for each of his students. So, you know, I just thought, oh, yeah, that's nice. But I just thought, you know, nothing really else. And then what happened is, after I reached out to Adam, he goes, well, you know, I definitely remember you, and you should go for it. You know, have your agent, submit you and everything. But in the meantime, here's the script, and pick a part that you want to submit yourself for. And I was like, wait, what is happening? he sent the script, and I read the script twice, and I must say, front to back, and I prayed to God and baby Jesus. I was like, please, this is all I want to do in my life is just to be in this movie, and then I'll be happy for the rest of my life. You know? And so I played my cards. I was like, all right, I'm going to submit myself for like all the roles that I can. So I submitted myself for 3 roles, and I prayed on it. And I was like, I don't care, you know, just anything. Mm-hmm. So then a couple of weeks later, Adam calls and goes, well, you got the part. I said, I did? Which one? And he says, well, you're playing the night shift nurse. Oh, and I was on a different class. And I was like, oh my God, it's a movie. It's a Hollywood movie. Yeah. You know? And just so pleased and so happy. And I told Burt, and he was ecstatic. He was so happy for me. And he said to me, and I will never forget, he said, well, the stars align sometimes, kid. And I just remember that because, you know, the agent, Adam remembering me, Burt recommending me, possibly, I don't know, probably, you know, just all of that. And it was like all in a neat package. And yeah, it was just, it was like a Hollywood movie. You know, it was definitely, but it was years of hard work and struggle, you know. Anybody that's an actor can tell you that, you know, what they go through. It's a lot of uphill battle, but once you get to the peak, it's like this feeling that nobody can explain or, you know, even verbalize. It's just the ultimate feeling. It's kind of orgasmic, I guess you could say.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is that's really cool is I was an actor for 10 years and I've been in a bunch of short films. I've made a bunch of short films. I did theater. I had my own theater. So I totally know what you're talking about. And the audition process, which I've talked with other people that I've interviewed on here, Shell and Gene, actors, is hell. It's total hell, and rejection is hell. And you have to be very thick-skinned. But I'm going to give you a huge compliment right now because I watched a bunch of your shorts. And you're a great actress. You're very comfortable on screen. Like in the scene, you're in the scene, which is not easy to do. And what I see with a lot of actors, I just talked to these young actors that are 20 years old. They made 12 short films and they're like 19 and 20 in Liverpool 2 days ago. And what I see is that there's people everywhere that could make movies every day, like yourself. And it's just like you said, those opportunities where the stars align. Yeah. And this woman, Shell, she's been in movies with Al Pacino and Ray Liotta, and I think she's only 28. So the stars have aligned with her a lot. She's been on several big TV shows. But I guess the work doesn't matter. I'm just saying that you are, you're a great actress and you're very comfortable on scene. It's very easy to watch you. You know how when you see some actors, you're welcome. You see some actors and they don't belong there. Does that make sense? Like they don't look like they belong in the scene. They're out of place, or sometimes
you see actors that aren't connected with the material.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That's why I'm very choosy when I work on a project. You know, when you look at a script, right, and you don't connect with it, there's something that kind of goes off in your brain, like, could I actually imagine myself. And I'm very strict about that with myself, because you have to believe 1,000% in what you're doing, you know, because when you're in the scene, you are in the scene. You are that
Right.
character, you know. You have to strip all the way down. Like, for example, I'll give you a good example. I actually, I was offered to do a role in a film, and it had a leprechaun in it, which is fine.
Right.
But it just nothing. I mean, maybe it's just
Yeah.
I'm very. I think I like to work on things that I feel are more realistic and lend itself to reality and real life circumstances.
Right. Let me ask you.
I feel I could draw from that more. Yeah.
We have a viewer that's watching right now, and they said his name's Paul Ringett, and he said he's a friend of mine from high school. He said that interested in knowing what she thinks is the most difficult part of acting has been to her for so far. Does that make sense?
The most difficult part.
What is the most difficult part of acting for you?
I would say finding work. You know, I think a lot of it has to do with my situation where I'm at, where I'm living. You know, a lot of actors are out in LA or in New York, and that's where most opportunities still are. And Atlanta actually is booming now too.
Yeah.
So for many years, you know, well, I started in New York acting, and then we moved down to Florida to help take care of my my mother-in-law. So then we ended up here. But it's all good because I met Burt, and the rest is history. But certainly the opportunities, you know, if you create your own opportunities, of course, you know, you can be anywhere and do that.
Right.
I happen to have a lot of ideas, but I'm not that great at I guess typing things down, you know, and putting pen to paper. So I sort of kind of you know, I guess I like to collaborate. You know, that's my thing. I love teamwork. You know, teamwork is it. It's, to me, I feel like, you know, I'm building something with other people, and it makes it all that more special rather than just doing it myself, I guess.
Right. No, I totally get that. It's a huge collaborative process, and
it is.
It's really like going to Vegas when you make a movie. There's so many different people involved, and the composer and the actor and the director and the writer and the cinematographer, that to make it all come together and work in the editing room and have it make sense and have it be a great film is almost like lightning striking. It's a very, very hard thing to do.
It is.
It doesn't happen often. Yeah.
And to that end, I should say, so that, you know, I mean, for the most part, you know, you could come and together everybody and make a really great film. But if one cog is like out of sync, you know, it can throw the whole thing off.
Yep.
I mean, I've done movies that I read the script and I was like, wow, you know, this looks great. Do the film, dead. You know. So, you know,
so let me ask you.
That's heartbreaking. Yeah.
Right. It is. It's a lot of work and time and money. But let me ask you about the scene. So you did the scene with Burt, and because he was your teacher, were you just really comfortable? Because that's what I like to ask people, that when they work with a huge star, I mean, he's a legend, that they get nervous and it makes it really hard.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think the only way that definitely did work for me, since it was my big break, you could say, was because I knew Burt, you know, BR. Yeah. I mean, he's, you know, my mentor, my friend, my teacher. So it was easy.
And And his classes.
I don't know really how I would have handled the situation had I not known Burt.
Right.
Because
if it was someone else like Sean Connery or something.
So many eyes, so many eyes, but it was such a great production to work on. It was incredible, I tell you. And he did make it easy, for me to be there, to be in the scene, in the moment, and to be able to work with him. But I will tell you one thing. He did challenge me.
Okay.
He did challenge me, and I will tell you right now, I had a small moment in my mind where everything could have gone tits up. But here's what happened. So I had my lines memorized to a T, front and back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't playing, and I remember when I got to the set, because my audition was quite different, right? My in the script it says that I open a door, right? That wasn't happening. When I got to the set, it was the sliding, right? The sliding doors. And so it wasn't like me opening a door, which is totally different. So now I'm processing it and thinking, well, all right, so now I have to project so that he can hear me through the glass.
Right.
You make adjustments. And the great thing is years of improv. And I will tell any actor this, if anything, please do take improv classes, because it is a cornerstone of acting. You need to be able to learn how to fly. If you're in a situation where something goes left, then you go right. It's you do the best you can, because as you know, working on a film, anything can happen.
Right.
Prepare for a meteor to strike. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
So what happened was, and here's what happened. Burt had a teleprompter just in case, right? So he had a teleprompter over my shoulder. I had nothing. I had nothing. He comes, he says, "Hey kid, I'm going to throw you a couple curveballs." In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, please, dear God, no, this is not happening. Don't do this. Please don't do this. And he did, though. He did. And I think he was testing me. He was testing me to see how I would do. Because when I auditioned for Burt's class, I was an improv student at the time. And pardon me, that's my dog coughing.
It's fine.
And
I have a dog here too.
I've got 4. So anyhow, so I was auditing the class, and one day Burt says to me, he points at me and goes, "Hey kid," and he's pointing, and I said, because I was nervous as all heck, and I'm like, "Me?" And he goes, "Yeah, you. I heard you're really good at improv," and all eyes on me. Everybody in master class looking at me now. I'm like, well, I do okay, I guess. And I didn't know. I really had no idea what was happening. And so he said, well, let's give you a scene to do. And my eyes are like this at this point. I'm like, I really don't want to be here right now. And I was slowly sinking in my seat. You know that feeling where you, And so what happened, he gave us a scenario, me and this other master actor, Cliff Garrett, and we went up on stage and we're doing a skit and all this stuff, and all of a sudden there's clapping and there's welcome to class, and then I don't know what happened, but evidently Cliff said to me, he goes, "I just got in a master class." And I was like, oh my God. And then I did this, and I'm clapping for myself, and I didn't know what was happening. It was a blur. It was a blur. And Cliff was like, oh my God, that never happens. And I just remember being like dumbfounded, but I was so excited. And so I think that for dog years. I think Burt was just trying to see, okay, those improv classes, you know, did they work? Did they take? And sure enough, you know, they did. And but I do remember I called Adam over. I said, Adam, I don't know what to do. Should I? And he was like, just go with it. Just go with it. Whatever he says, just go with it. I found my way back to the script. I didn't get to do the really good punchline that I had. You know, there was like a really good comeback line. Mm-hmm. But we made it work, and it was pure joy to do that movie, because it was Burt's last great big movie, and I was part of that history. And
right.
And that's what you see on screen in The Last Movie Star. That was Burt. That was probably the most accurate depiction of BR that I think anybody you know, that loved Burt, you know, that they'll see on screen. I mean, that was raw. That was you know, pretty real,
right.
real depiction. And my good friend Adam Rifkin, he wrote it specifically for Burt. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that I read that script twice, back to back. It's a roller coaster. It's like this, and it really is very reflective of life. And you and I, as actors, know there's a lot of heartache. There's a lot of down. There's a lot of despair and feeling of, oh my God, can I keep going? You know, but then there's always that hope, you know, that we always reach for.
But at the same time, you're doing theater, right? So the theater and the short films are filling up time, and you're getting better, and you're working on your craft. And theater's totally different. You have a live audience.
Theater's different.
It's different. Yeah. I mean, film I like better because you can do multiple takes. You can kind of try things and screw things up. But theater, there was one night I was in a play in San Francisco, 250 people, sold out every night. And one night I skipped a page. Like I literally just blanked. Even though we'd been doing it for 3 weeks, a page, I just skipped a line on a page, and that was it. Like that whole page went away for the night.
Right.
You can't get it back because it's live.
That's happened to me too. And that's I think the actor's worst nightmare, right? Is going up on the line, you know, just kind of, right? Jumping or even falling into the abyss. But that's the magic of improv, right? You kind of find your way back, and the audience doesn't know. But for the longest time, I remember when I started acting, I was like, oh my God, if I miss a line. And, you know, that's still actually quite a big fear of mine. You know, I still don't relax about that. Like I still have a fear of, oh, did I miss a word? Did I miss a line? Oh, you know, that's always going to be a fear of mine, just because that's how I am. I'm kind of neurotic about lines because the writer put in so much work.
Right.
So I'm going to respect the work, and I'm going to do what I do to, you know, make sure that I say it right. And, you know, but I think that I'm not as neurotic as I used to be. When I first started, I had all these superstitions, and I would keep the script in my back pocket. I literally just there, you know, like it's kind of a little good luck charm. And it's strange. Did you have any like superstitions or anything like that as an actor too, or?
No, film just seemed, I mean, and it's not. I mean, film is difficult, but to me, film just seems so much easier than theater. Theater was a grind, the rehearsals, and then getting up there every night when you were sick or when you had a flu or like you just have to do it. The show has to go on. I remember I had 104 fever in college. 103, 104 something, and I had to go up and do a play, and I was just literally leaning against a wall because I was sweating, and you just have to do it. But let me ask you this. So we have another question from someone, which we'll get to in a second, about acting, but let's play another clip. We're going to play Kuru, and then you can just talk about it. So just take a break, drink some water, and then we'll... this is a clip from a short film you did, Kuru.
Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about the blood, I'm talking about the phone calls. I don't need to be taking any phone calls.
Everyone deserves closure.
Closure for who? We're killers, Dwight. No phone call's gonna change that. Get cleaned, I'll get us food ready.
I just love that scene. I mean, I'm not here to critique you at all, but I just love that you're devoid of everything in that scene, and the way you look, and it's like you have no feelings at all. It's just kind of fun. I've watched like 10 of your short scenes, and I love that scene. I love your look and the glasses, but it's like someone that's just nothing's going on. Do you want to talk about that short?
Sure. So that was the second film that I did with Jonathan Quartus, the Quartus Brothers, and that went on to become a feature film. And I worked with them on 3 shorts, so it was cool. The last one I did with them was called The Horse and the Stag, and didn't really get a lot of play. I'm not sure what the deal was. I think that they were concentrating on the feature version of Clue. But this film was really, it was heavy. It was heavy. And
you're a serial killer, right? You and your husband are serial killers. Is that the story?
It's about 3 siblings. And I play the eldest, and Mark Ashworth plays the middle child, and Thomas Alvarez, he played the cannibal. And that was actually the original title of the film, was The Cannibal. And really great concept. Just the characters were so heavy. And as much as I wanted to emote, I couldn't. The character was stoic, and I had to do that. So all the emotions that was feeling was behind my eyes, and I would cry during the lunch breaks, to release all of that. Because the story is just heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching. It's heartbreaking. Remember, there's a scene where I'm in the bathtub, and I tell the cannibal, I'm basically offering myself up to you because I'm dying anyway. I love you. It's the ultimate sacrifice. It's just being in that situation. It took me a while to prepare for it, because I just felt like this it was so raw and so in my core that I had to bring up this feeling of offering everything up, just really, because as bad as my character was, there was the rationalization that, this is my family, and I will do anything for my brother,
right.
Kind of really trying to get that in your mind, but actually thinking about, well, what would I do? A lot of the, and of course, in real life, I wouldn't kill anybody, but, obviously, but, these characters, you have to build this from the backstory. The mother, she was a bit off, and her, she raised these kids, and they all have challenges, and that my character was responsible for keeping the family together. This family, this tribe of strange characters, but this was their life. This was their world,
Right.
So
Very
yeah, exactly. And that's just it, right? When you delve into a character, you build this extreme back. I know I do. I go, you probably do, where you just go down the line and, what, when they were born and where they lived and, all the circumstances. And, that's what makes acting fun too. You get to crawl in somebody else's shoes, and you get to make that character make believe. Yeah, I've been wanting to be an actor since I was 5. I remember 5 is my favorite number, so I don't know if it's exactly 5, but I'm pretty sure it was around that time because.
Right. So let me just interrupt real quick because this goes along with what you're saying. Someone, Paul again, is asking what interested her in acting and what inspired her to act. Was it a movie? Was it a play? Was it a relative? What made you get into acting?
It was TV. Watching, TV. Charlie's Angels, everything on TV at the time. I remember thinking, that looks fun. It was amazing, It was basically TV. It wasn't movies really so much. My dad always had the TV on, and so when I was supposed to be sleeping, I'd peek around the corner and watch TV. He had Charles Bronson. What was that movie, or what was that TV show? Anyhow, there were a bunch of TV shows that I would just kind of like. I know I should be in bed sleeping, but whatever. I'm gonna sneak around the corner and watch TV, and my parents would just chill and watch TV, and I'd kind of like, I want to do that. I want to do that one day, and. I moved around a lot. My dad was in the Air Force for 20 years. And so we lived in Germany for a very long time. We moved back and forth. So I was an Air Force brat. I was. And there weren't a lot of really good acting opportunities. So I just kind of I guess I played Barbies. And would act out movie scenes and scenarios and build little sets and dress up my little sister. She hated it.
Right.
She's like, oh God, no. Now what? So what?
I've heard so many stories like that. There's this woman, Lace Larrabee. She's a big comedian. She travels the country, and she used to do little skits for her family. And then Art David, I was talking to, just posted him yesterday. He used to negotiate with his parents to watch TV at night. His 2 brothers would have to go to sleep, and he'd have to go to bed with them. And then once they were asleep, he could sneak out and watch, the adult TV shows with the parents.
Yes.
So everybody has a lot of those stories. It's so much fun. But let me just ask you, let me see if I can find this. I always ask a question that's kind of fun. Every episode, what is the greatest film of all time to you? Oh, it's such a cute dog.
Oh, thank you. This is Cassie. This is my my eldest. Yeah, she's.
How old is she?
They're all rescued. Cassie is 10 and a half.
Okay.
Half. Yeah.
I have Lila over here. You can't see her. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to lift up my computer, but she's 12. She's getting old. She's like a border collie.
My favorite movie of all time. This is going to sound really silly, and I don't mean for it to, but I loved It's a Wonderful Life. It's my favorite movie of all time. There are great movies that I could list but of all time, it would be that. And maybe it's because I watched it so much, I don't know. But I think it comes down to the fact that it deals with humanity at every level. It's the, basically the message of you matter, you matter. A lot of times people go through life and they think, what have I done with my life? Or, a lot of times people question themselves and what they do. Yeah. And just the fact that it's a sweet movie. I love Frank Capra. Frank Capra is a genius. He made several great films that I love. But
Jimmy Stewart.
Yep. And oh God, I love me some Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
And so that right there, it sounds like maybe a movie that like a lot of people would pick, but really, I mean, it is quite a story. And
what is it? It's on every Christmas Eve or Christmas Day on TV. Like
you know what? It used to be on every Christmas, and I don't know. Somehow I don't know if it's on all the time anymore, but I know there were many years that it wasn't on.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple questions before we go to the next clip. So this woman, Shel Ramos, she kind of hops back and forth between television and film, and she does. Would you ever do TV? Because she does TV pilots.
Yes.
I guess she goes from Atlanta to New York, and I think she has an agent, but she's constantly doing self-tapes for TV pilots. And like I said, she's been on this new show on Netflix called The Outer Banks. She's one of the sheriffs. She was in The Purge. She was in this show Graceland, The Purge TV show. So she's been on a lot of TV shows, but then she's also done a bunch of movies and has agents for that. So are you trying to be on television, or are you just trying to be in film?
No. I would love to do some television. My agent, she's up in Tampa. She's actively looking. I would love to do TV.
Because I know, I mean, you probably know this, but they have a pilot season.
Yeah.
And they do all these auditions in 1 month for all the pilots for TV, and they make the pilots.
Yeah. When my agent sees something that she thinks that I could do, she, submits me. Unfortunately, I haven't been getting a lot of, leads, I guess you could say.
Well,
I'd like to.
During the COVID thing, there's been nothing going on. Yeah. Yeah, maybe after we're done, I'll just give you Shel's contact information. She's a great person. Okay, so let's go to Devil 13. Yeah. It's just a quick clip, a minute and a half. We'll watch it, and then you can talk about it. So take a break. Here we go. Devil 13 is a short film or a feature?
It's a short, yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Mr. Reed was bow fishing yesterday morning in the Flint River in East Point when he caught the behemoth. According to about a 48-pound catfish, so watch out.
Hey, y'all got any cigarettes?
Fresh out.
Figures. Okay. Actually, you guys got a bathroom? Works?
Back corner.
Back corner. Cool.
Oh my God! No!
Okay, I don't know what happened in the end there. Maybe you can explain. Is there like a monster or a murderer? What's happening there?
Yeah. It's this film. I had let me back up a little bit.
Yeah.
This film, it's a short, and I was contacted by the director, and I was really excited to play the part. And I had a small part, but still pretty good. But yeah, it's about cult members, and
Oh,
the
okay.
I don't want to do spoiler alert, but yeah, there's like a
Okay.
murderous killing spree and things like
Okay.
that. It's kind of
All right.
purgy, like yeah,
Very
yeah.
purgy.
But
Okay.
I mean, it's yeah, that was kind of a creepy, fun movie to play. Again, in my wheelhouse because I play creepy, fun characters. I need some levity. I need some laughs. Oh my god, I'm dying to do a really good comedy.
You want to do a comedy. Okay,
I would love
are the movies you tend to do sort of darker and horror and stuff like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And where does that come from? Just what you apply for or what people choose you for?
No, these roles, they choose me. I don't know what's going on. Because
you have a very bubbly, happy thing going on.
Yeah. Like, for example, when Kuru played at Short Fest out in Palm Springs, somebody in the audience goes, "You're so different. You're not Jesse. Oh my God, you're so different." I was like, "Well, yeah, that's acting. I'm nothing like that character." But yeah, which is a compliment. But I would like to do some comedy and get myself out there and do some sort of like a Judd Apatow sort of film. Fun.
Yeah, those are so much fun.
Yeah,
those are so much fun.
But
awesome.
I'm working on something with my friend Nikki Blonsky. We're working on a film together. And we're just kind of writing right now. We're writing it, but it should have some laughs in it. So we want to do something funny. So we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna write something and see what happens. So.
Okay. And Nikki Blonsky, what was she in? Because I know she was in the last Movie Star with you. She's plays the younger girl in that scene, but she was in a famous movie, right? What did she do?
Hairspray.
Was it Hairspray?
It was Hairspray.
Okay.
Yes. Good morning, Baltimore. No,
right.
she's great. We did not meet on set of the last Movie Star because we filmed different days. But we did meet at the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival when they were screening the last Movie Star, and we just hit it off right away. We were like old souls that connected somehow, and
right.
I really love her. She's just a really sweet friend, and I think probably one of the best things to come out of that whole thing, last Movie Star, was connecting with Adam Rifkin and Nikki Blonsky. Those two are great. They're incredible people, and I'm just so happy that I know them. And so now we're working on something. So who knows? Hopefully, hopefully something will happen, and we're working on a feature. It's not going to be a short. It's a feature film that we're working on. But
very cool. So I did see on your IMDb page that you won Best Actress at a couple of film festivals. Can you tell us about that and how you won Best Actress?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really have no idea. Have no idea.
What movies were they for?
Well, a couple of them were for Kuru. There were some for Horse and Stag. There were some for,
So are you saying you've won like 6 Best Actress?
I don't know. I lost count. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, you lost count. Okay.
I don't know. I don't mean to sound, but I'm trying to think of the other ones. I don't know. There were a couple of them in there.
Okay. All right. And so
I think I credit that though to the director and the material. So honestly, like I said before, all the things, they have to sort of gel together in order for a movie to be made and to be made well. So There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get to advice, I'd like to ask you your advice for young people getting into the film and TV industry and being an actor, and just whatever you think you can go for it. But before we get there, I read also on the IMDb page that there are several shorts or features that you're doing that are in post-production. Can you talk about one of them that you like?
Yeah. There's one called, I have to, like, do you have an example? I'm not on my IMDb, but
I can tell you. Hold on, I had it pulled up this morning.
Okay, just like
I'll beat you there. Okay, so you have. This is interesting. The Driven, Black Veil, Mr. Limbo,
Driven.
Mama's Waltz.
Mr. Limbo. I will
Okay,
tell you
Mr.
about
Limbo.
Mr. Limbo.
Okay.
Actually, I'll tell you quickly about Mr. Limbo and Black Veil, real quick.
Okay.
Mr. Limbo, fun movie by a great director called Bobby Putka. He's done 2 other films that I've seen before I did this one, and he's an incredible director. And just this movie is very fantastical, and I get to play somebody in the afterlife. I'm just going to leave it there. It's going to be great. I know it's going to be off the chain. And Black Veil is directed by Dan Myrick from, of course, Blair Witch Project. And I play a dark character. But a fun dark character. Let's just put it that way.
So how do you have 5 or 6 movies in post-production? Are you just working all the time? Is this all you do? You don't do anything else?
No. Oh my God. I wish it would be something that I could say, yeah, I do this all the time, but no, I don't know why some things are in post-production like forever on IMDb. It looks like maybe I'm working all the time, but I'm not really working all the time. It just looks like I am.
Okay.
But some things are actually in post-production. Like The Driven is another film that I did with Alex Leedy, and it's his first feature. And I would love to see the footage. I haven't seen it yet, but I know that they're actually still working on that one. So for sure.
Very cool. Okay, so let's wrap it up. We usually go 45 minutes, and we've gone over because you can tell stories, and I have a million questions. No, it's fine. It's totally fine.
Long-winded, so I do.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's you're very interesting. But advice you would give to young actors coming up: be kind to yourself. It's a grind. Whatever you want to say.
Yes, absolutely. All of that. And more. And I have tips on my website for actors. If you go to www.amyhoerler.com, that's AMYHOERLER.com, and I have a tips section for actors. And I wrote that. I wrote back in 2005, and it still applies. And it really is grind, work, don't give up. It's the easiest thing is to give up and don't do it, because once you do that, game over. You're selling yourself short. And just continue to learn. Do everything that you can. Take classes, make things right if you can, collaborate, but don't stop. I think that's the biggest nugget of advice that I can give you. And, I remember, talking to my mentor, Burt, and he told me, don't give up. You're too effing good. And he never swore, but I journaled it. I noted it. When you have a mentor that's strong and that can give you advice like that, take it and run with it. Find a mentor, find a teacher, work. It's all about work and doing the work and putting the work in, and just, and it's funny because as actors, we're always constantly behind the 8 ball. We're always doing like an uphill push, But when you get to the top, when you get to that peak, it's all worth it. So,
absolutely. And I can't tell you how many actors I've talked to that said, I met a director in a writing class and an acting class. I met another actor who got me a job in an improv class. Just keep making stuff, do theater, like you said, do short films. All of that stuff is great advice.
Just network and put in the work. It's so important. And don't rely on other people. You've got to do it. You've got to be your own agent. You've got to be your own manager. You've got to go to my website. I put it all on there.
Okay.
You'll like it. And if anybody has any questions for me, they're absolutely, I've fielded some questions for people throughout the years. If anybody has any questions for me, shoot me an email. I'll help you out as much as I can.
Fantastic. All right. This has been great, Amy. You're awesome. It's been great talking to you.
It's been great talking to you. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I got a chance to, talk to an interview. I'm not really, I don't know. I've never really done interviews, so this has been kind of cool.
It's very cool. So I hope you have a great rest of your day with your 4 dogs.
4 dogs and 1 husband. How's
4
that?
dogs and 1 husband. And we will talk soon. And I'm going to hang up now, but let's talk so I can give you Shell's information. You can contact her.
Okay. Right. Thanks so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.